Should I use my glasses?
Yeah, that's actually not a bad look.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's bright out here.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, brother. I'm
Toke it up, man.
it happens.
Piss me off.
Wait, are you running the intro right now?
Betting has stopped. Perfect. Well,
Alyssa,
at any rate,
if you got to stay out there for a long time, I don't need them barking, or put the dogs in the room before you go out. They'll bark when you come back in. Like, I don't want them barking. Just put them in the room real quick. In the room with Mom. Hey, wait. Oh shit, we're live.
Clear browsing data. Yes. I'm on a betting website, and I chose I clicked one of those boxes, prevent future windows from coming up, but you also have to confirm your bet before you place it. So now it's like it won't let me place any bets.
Oh, we are live right now too.
Yeah. But anyway, so and then sometimes something happens before the show that's kind of cool. Clear the fucking data, damn it.
What you betting on?
Copa America.
I see you. Bet you who you got taking it?
I was trying to get in an exact score of 2-1 Venezuela. Should piss me off.
For our viewers' pleasures, our listeners' pleasures, and those who might be actually watching it, I do have the Golden State game. Well, at some point, whoever listens to it.
I got posted. You see where it says links down there?
On the
YouTube.
It's not,
maybe I'm the only one that can do it.
Yeah. So I can't see it.
I'm gonna post it on Facebook and Twitter real quick. La 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 la.
Boom, 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 boom. Bum, bum, bum. You'll never find bum, a hairline like mine. Bum, bum, bum. I do a little live game announcing. Curry with the ball mid-court. Passes it off to Thompson. Thompson for a long three. Oh, air ball. Cleveland ball. Love inbounds to I don't know who that is, but LeBron being a bitch at mid-court. LeBron doing what he does best. Are you into basketball or no?
Yes, I'm into all sports.
Sports.
See if we can get a viewer in here. I noticed on the Facebook page we're getting a lot of people from India and like the Middle East that are liking the page, and well, how that's happening. If you go on and see who's liked it, so recently we've been getting some like Bilal Hindrad Kanbalbal.
Oh, wow. We international. We getting Arab money.
Now this is not working. Piss me off. What the fucking shit?
That was trouble.
Thanks.
J.R. Smith with the ball. Oh, get that out of here. Iguodala with the rebound. Brings the ball down court. Oh, and it's fouled.
He's such a beast.
There goes LeBron James again, bitching. Cry, baby.
Iguodala is like the perfect dude to guard LeBron James.
Yeah. Cry, baby, Braun. Could you imagine being that big in high school?
Was he that big?
He was. I don't think he's grown another inch since he's been in the NBA. He wasn't as buff. But imagine being 6'8"?
Don't you come through the front door.
You're 6'8" at Artesia. Are you going to the NBA? Yes. Or at least to college.
Yeah.
If Capono could do it, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, another dunk by Iguodala.
Posted on my Twitter. I've got about 1,800 followers.
Oh, I see you.
H1 MMA, baby. Are you on Twitter?
No, I mean, I have an account. I have like 2 accounts, but I can't ever keep up with it.
Twitter's fun.
Yeah, I need to get into it because that's where a lot of marketing is done.
1867.
What's that?
I bought maybe 1,000 of them though.
What?
Followers.
Oh.
What is taking so long?
Well, yeah, when it's a marketing account, that's all right. I just wonder if those are real like accounts.
They are.
Interesting.
All right. See if we can get one. 0. Can you see the viewers amount on yours?
No. I don't even know where to look. Where would they?
Bottom right of the screen.
No, just the picture. Just the picture of me is on the bottom right. You're a big screen.
Maybe it's just
I'm a little screen.
only the host.
Yep. It's the benefits.
All right. Oh, I need to get my notes. Hold on.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hello.
Yo, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
No, I can't hear you.
Really?
Really?
No. You're answering my questions.
I'm not answering your questions. I'm just reading your lips.
And not looking at the
All right, let's get this party started. How does my voice sound?
Sexy.
Is it loud enough?
Very whitish.
White?
Very white.
Oh, I thought you said very whitish.
I can see how that
racist is.
It's not racist if you're actually white, right?
Yeah, it is. Why not? Hey, we no longer hold a majority in the country anymore.
That's what I kept wanting to say earlier, but I didn't know if the fact was right or not, and I didn't look at it.
Yeah, it happened in like 2012 or something. Ended up being that we no longer have 50% of the population in America.
The great part about like talking with you guys is that you guys know your shit, but then the shitty part about talking with you guys is you guys know your shit, so I have to fact check everything. So I'm like, it's so much harder. It's so much harder to argue with you guys, but it's good because it opens up to other. I haven't been really keeping up with Fox News all that much, so getting the other side perspective is always good.
Yeah, I guess they are kind of right. I know I don't really listen to them at all. I just go to my certain websites that I go to.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get it started. These views reflect one planet. Oh man, last time before we start, I got pretty high before I did the one.
Before you did what?
The editing on the last one. Like I went and took like a couple big rips and like held it in, and then I sat down and I listened to it. I'm like, this gimmick is fucking stupid. Like I am getting over this gimmick. Like I was just so disgusted with myself. Like what the hell? Where the hell did it's like so dumb. But and I was thinking, man, should I change it? And I'm like, no, it's stupid, but it's just a means to get to the podcast. It's got to be called something, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I was just listening to myself, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so lame. But all right. These views reflect one planet and one planet alone. Wait for this fucking motorcycle to go by.
I actually think the intro is pretty dope. I just think possibly maybe the greetings Mercuryans, Mercurystonographers. I think that part might be a little overdoing it. But I think the disclaimer of this being the views of one planet and one planet alone and not making it Earth gives you a little wiggle room with all the topics.
Correct. Oh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mercury's Cast. I'm your interplanetary host, Travis Montgomery. Be sure to go on Facebook and like Mercury's Cast on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. We post memes and fun stuff like that. Today, it's just me and Kenny. And Kenny, why don't you say what's up to people?
Oh, what's going on, people? It's been a minute. It feels like it's actually been like a month since I've been on.
Yeah, he sat out a week. You had some things going on. Yeah. You took a trip to California, right?
Yeah, I had to go rock the vote and then handle some family stuff.
You had to go vote in California?
Yeah, I'm still registered in Cali.
Huh? You just do all your black market shit in Nevada?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, not a lot to talk about today, but there's a lot to talk about today. Basically, one subject I think will get most of the time and energy. Early Sunday morning, we'll just jump right into it, I guess. Early Sunday morning, a gentleman named Omar Mateen drove about 100 miles from his home to a nightclub called The Pulse in Orlando, Florida, and he had a handgun and AR-15. Probably had some extra ammunition with him for the amount of damage that he caused. The toll right now is 49 dead, 53 injured. You know, gunshot wounds and all that. So that toll might climb a little more. It's a really sad day. When I woke up yesterday morning and started hearing about all this stuff and just the weight of it hit me, I actually shed a couple tears thinking about all the families and just the sheer devastation, loss of American lives. It's pretty heavy stuff, man. That's 49 dead. I heard stories of people were hiding under dead bodies to make it seem like they were dead, and you know, the blood everywhere. It was such a gruesome scene, and I was thinking about this last night. That you know, when something goes down, everyone pulls out their cell phone and starts taking videos. But I've looked for some, and I try and avoid the graphic videos like the beheading videos or the ISIS burning people in cages and shit like that. Because you've seen one and you've seen enough, for me at least, and some people become desensitized to it, and I can't. But nobody even. It was such a crazy event. No one even thought to. Well, I mean, why would you? But no one even brought their cell phone out to record a video. Which, I mean, you get videos of everything nowadays.
Yeah. I guess first let me say my heart goes out to people that were there last night at the event, the families that were affected for sure. There has been one video that I have seen.
Just the ending, the end of it, right?
No, well, it was the beginning. Well, like it was right before the shot started.
And I didn't.
Yeah, it's like it's a Snapchat video, and unfortunately, the young lady lost her life.
Really?
Yeah, she. I don't know how the video got to the news, but it just is kind of like in selfie mode, and it's facing her, and it doesn't show anything like of her actually, you know, being killed or anything. But it's kind of like the music's playing, and she's like laughing and smiling and filming people, and like the camera comes to her, and she kind of looks like, what was that? And then you just hear like loud bangs, 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 and then the video like. Then they cut to another camera angle, but yeah, it's definitely intense, man.
So there have been worse events with guns used in American history, but this is the worst single shooter event And I did a little research on it today. I mean, there's events that have spanned a couple days. Like there's some race riots in the 19 teens in East St. Louis. During that time in the 19 teens, there's a lot of race stuff going back and forth. A lot of people died. Of course, there's always the Native American Indians, the Wounded Knee. There was a couple hundred casualties there, and obviously it's a different time, different crime. But yeah, 49 people, over 100 people shot. That's a lot of rounds. And yeah, this guy was gonna do something drastic. He had coworkers that tried to report him, and the guy that actually tried to report him quit. And you know, you don't want to be an Islamophobe on these days because especially, well, he worked for, let me back up a little bit. He worked for a part of Department of Homeland Security. GS4 is the name of the company, and they get almost $100 million contracts per year from the Department of Homeland Security. And I believe that the Department of Homeland Security has $55 billion annual budget. So every year they're getting $55 annual dollars. So I don't know how that has to tie in. I guess you don't want to be an Islamophobe, and when you're getting that much money from the government, you kind of want to keep stuff sealed up. But this guy claimed that he told his coworkers he has family connections to Al Qaeda, and he was a member of Hezbollah.
That's counter already intuitive because those two factions don't like each other anyways.
Well, same thing. Might, people have family members in different gangs that are opposing too. It's not. I mean, it's not impossible for that to happen.
No, but I mean, obviously you can't. You have to take his word for it. But I think that this guy was just more disgruntled than anything, and is using.
Well, he's traveled to Saudi Arabia, and classmates of his said that he cheered on the 9/11 attacks. I mean, his father was running for president in Afghanistan. So none of this looks good for Muslims in America right now.
I mean, I guess I don't really link the two. I mean, I understand that a strong faction of America will, but I don't conflate the two. Just like I don't conflate the kid who shot up the church. I don't associate him with Christianity, or I don't associate the KKK with Christianity, or any other militant group that
he shot up a Christian
that does any
church. I doubt he's Christian, but
no, he shot up black people in a Christian church like that over race like that, and he claimed.
Well, this guy was. We didn't mention it yet, but the Pulse is a gay club in Orlando. He was targeting gay people, and in 11 Muslim countries, being gay is a crime, and you'll be executed. Yemen, Iran, Iraq, Nigeria, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan, United Arab Emirates. If you're caught being gay in those countries as a form of Sharia law, you are executed. You're stoned to death or thrown off a cliff, or just somehow killed.
And in some of those countries, in some of the African countries, it was Christian leaders that from here in the U.S. that helped get those laws put into effect. Like they went over there and campaigned within the Christian communities and like basically told their followers that it's an abomination and that they should be killed. And I mean, there's even been Christian pastors that come out today and come out yesterday praising like what happened here in the U.S.
Well, I don't agree with that either. This is not a so you're just going to bring up Christian every time I say something about radical Islam or jihadists? You're just going to try and compare it to Christianity?
No, I'm just saying I don't conflate the two. Just like the term jihad has been, and I'm not a Muslim, but I mean I've done a lot of research and I've seen a lot of documentaries. The term jihad has been hijacked. It doesn't necessarily mean to wage war. It's your own personal struggle within like the Muslim faith and your own personal journey. That's
okay. Well, I'm calling it radical Islam. That's what I'm calling it.
That's fine. And I mean that is fine. There is a radical Islam. I'm not denying that there isn't. But
so I mean, in the past year, we've had Paris, we've had Brussels, we've had San Bernardino, and we've had Orlando now. And it seems that this is continuing. It's not going to stop. Are you trying to tell me that there's not going to be another radical Muslim attack on American soil? Can you promise me that?
No, you can't. But just like you can't promise that there's not going to be another white person to shoot up a theater or another black person to go postal in a post office, or like you can't, when there's guns prevalent in the United States, there is no, or in anywhere, there is no real action that can be done. Like there's guns here and it's going to happen. Like,
so are you blaming the guns?
No, I'm not blaming the guns. I think the fact that it's easy to get access to the guns is a problem. But no, you can't blame the guns, just like you can't blame the bullets. Just like you can't blame a car when someone gets in it drunk and kills somebody. Like it's not.
So, but if device, we can if we can't, or we have a serious mental health problem in this country for sure. But if we can limit the amount of people that want to kill Americans because you're American or because you're gay, if we can limit that number, you're always going to have people that fly off the deep end. But if you're doing it, if you have people that are doing it in the name of a religion, who and you know that he called 911 and praised allegiance to ISIS and the Boston bombings, that's another one. That was what? So now we have 3 in America that's happened where we're having multiple deaths and just terror and carnage. I mean, we're going to lose our freaking country if we don't do something about this.
But we're not going to feel safe anywhere. But they were all natural born citizens. So who do you want to deport? You want to deport natural born citizens?
I'm not saying to deport anybody. I'm saying we need to limit the amount of people.
Oh, right.
And whatever can make us safe within our borders.
Well, I mean,
whatever makes us safer in our borders, that we can go to a sporting event or we can go to a nightclub and not have to worry about being shot up. If we can just limit the amount of that.
Travis, that doesn't make any sense when you have had 2 theater shootings that had no relations to ISIS or anything like that. Like you can't go, or the school or Sandy Hook. Like I'm not even saying those had anything to do with religion at all. I don't feel safe going to a movie theater because it was shot up by no one that had any relationship to Islam. And
that's a mental health, that we got a huge mental health problem in this country already. We don't need more people that we are going to be worried about. I mean, there's at least 25% of Muslims that sympathize with suicide bombers. There's at least 10% of Muslims that want to follow Sharia law. And if are you saying that you're not worried at all about Muslims coming into America?
I'm as worried as Muslims coming into America as I'm worried about going out to freaking Walmart and there's half the store open carrying. I'm just as worried. Like I don't want to be in that location as I want to be, anywhere where I don't feel safe. But like,
maybe you need to get yourself a gun.
No. Okay. Let's just say, for instance, It was a bar anyway. No one should have had a gun inside there, anyways. There's alcohol being served, so no one in there should have been packing. So he picked a soft target, anyways. Even if in Florida you can carry guns.
Are you calling gay people soft? No, all right. He targeted a gay club. His father said that what could have triggered him, that they were hanging out and he saw two guys mouth kiss and he went off, and he said it was about a month ago and that could have triggered it.
Are you aware of his? And I saw this probably about 20, I don't know, probably within the last hour before we came on. But there are now people from the club saying that the guy had been there a few dozen times possibly, as well as had gay profiles on like Grindr and other gay websites.
Where'd you see that at?
This was on CNN, MSNBC, and then it started getting picked up on HLN or the hotline.
I haven't heard that, but
I'm sure
one could argue that if he did happen to do that before, that he could have been mad at himself and mad at the gay people, he was targeting. It was clear he was targeting gay people. You don't drive 100 miles. And maybe he was scoping the place out and was planning this for a couple months. You never know.
Yeah, no, it definitely can go into two different terms of thought. Yeah, he was either casing the place out and planning it, or it was a self-hate crime that he hated himself for feeling the way that he possibly did.
So this guy and his mosque that he goes to was under investigation of the FBI in 2013, 2014, and even as far as back as 2011 for they caught wind of some stuff. Apparently he passed all the interviews, but one thing that I sent that you didn't want to read because it had to do with InfoWars is that a retired deputy from the Department of Homeland Security said that they were told by the Department of Homeland Security to stop their investigation because they didn't want to be called Islamophobes.
Okay, who was this guy?
Well, I sent you the article. His name
was his name in the article though. Like,
yeah, his name in the article.
Usually, it's a highly placed source or a.
No, his name. He's quoted.
Yeah, he put his name to it. Okay, well,
we had cool two viewers for a little bit. Well, we got one back. But so that's what I heard, and obviously, if you're not there to see it firsthand, none of that stuff's provable. But there is a lot of sentiment that that you don't want to say the wrong thing anymore in this political correctness world that we live in, and you don't want to be called an Islamophobe. You don't want to be called a racist.
Okay, here, let me ask this question: where does political correctness stop?
The N-word.
Why does it stop there, though?
Because.
Why does it stop there? Because
you get beat up for saying it.
Okay, so then when you use another derogatory term towards a Mexican or towards a Muslim, why don't you think the same repercussions should happen? If you won't call a black guy the N-word, why would you call a Mexican guy a beaner? Why would you call a Chinese guy?
Okay, well then it stops there too.
Okay, so why is
there's a difference between being politically correct and trying to be offensive.
Okay, yeah, I will agree. But I mean that again, the issue with it, political correctness is subjective. So to you, what isn't offensive isn't necessarily offensive to your mom or to your brother or to your sister, like it happens. Everyone has a different line of morality, and so how, like, in order to get anything done in a civil way, how do you have to go about trying not to offend people? I mean, and I know it sucks.
Well, the reason that the investigation was stopped, and that if they would have went a little further, they maybe could have prevented these 100 people from being shot, is all I'm saying. Hillary Clinton's department,
investigating the mosque or investigating?
They were investigating the mosque, and they were both.
But she didn't shut down the investigation of him. She didn't stop the She didn't tell him to stop the. She's not accused. She's not accused.
You gotta go read the article I posted for you, even though it's Infowars and Alex Jones' voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard to you. And Alex Jones is not even in there, so you're all good on that one.
All right, maybe I'll give it a look. But yeah.
So you're telling me that crazy white people scare you just as much as radical Islam does?
When I see them just walking around with a semi-automatic, and out here, that for all I know, they could be fully automatic. But when I see weapons that I necessarily associate with Call of Duty or actual war, produced only for the simple fact to kill people, I don't want to be in that same vicinity with them. I have no interest in asking him about the gun. I don't want him to show me the gun. If I go to a shooting range, cool, perfect. But even in the Wild West, guns were held at city limits, I believe, right? In most Western towns, you weren't allowed to just bring them within the city limits and walk around town like they show on Westerns, right? Like there was some kind of law and order to the madness.
I think that's why they call it the Wild Wild West. I'm not sure when those gun laws came into place, but if you want to take into consideration San Bernardino, the Boston bombing, and then now what just happened, and you want to compare it to the theater shootings or Sandy Hook, or even that one Sandy. I mean, these are happening like years apart. We've had 3 in the past 2 years, and it seems to be increasing.
No, we're having mass shootings. Like we're averaging, I think, like multiple a day. A mass shooting is anything over 3 people with the gun.
All right, we're not talking about gang violence in Chicago.
We're not talking about that. Well, that just happened too over Memorial Day weekend or whatever it was.
I know that's a whole nother topic. What I'm saying is that there are people that want to kill you because you're American and you don't follow their way of thinking. And to me, that's scary. And we're getting more refugees and more coming. And, 1 out of 10 or 20 of them are going to have these kind of beliefs. 80% of them are 20 to 30 age males that are fleeing a war-torn. So you never know.
Do you understand the process on getting admitted though? They're not just like,
there is a screening process.
And how long is the process usually? 18 to 24 months. 18 to 24 months.
So they keep them detained for 18 to 24 months
before they are in refugee camps while they are getting screened. That it's already located. To get into the US, it's the hardest screening process.
Where are these camps located? Are they in the U.S. or are they not in the U.S.?
No, they're not in the U.S. They're located. They're located overseas. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? There you go. Like, what do you want? Okay, so then you want to bring them here first and then screen them? Like, what does that like? That doesn't make sense.
That's what I don't. We don't need any more human beings in our country at all. I think we are maxed out to the limit. I mean, we need to cut back. We need a plague or like a super bug to just wipe out some people because there's too many. It's a issue of numbers. We're at capacity. We don't have enough jobs to go around anymore.
I guess I don't know. Majority of the immigrants that come in aren't doing the jobs you want to do. Or
says who? I would do that shit. And And all right,
okay, Travis, where do you live at right now? Where do you live at right now?
I live in Bakersfield.
Okay,
I live in Farmtown.
What's stopping you from going out in the fields right now?
Because they're all those jobs are taken already, and there's a line of about 20 people waiting for someone to fall out so they can hop back in. If you want to look at the sheer number of jobs in America compared to the amount of people in America, it just doesn't add up.
I don't know.
And I have the most sympathy for anybody's life, another human being's life. I have sympathy for, and I wish that everyone could have a great job and everybody could be well off, but that's just not a reality at all.
Well, here's one that might get some listeners. Tell the government to stop blowing up other countries, and there won't be so many refugees, and we'll be cool. That's the Ron Paul approach, by the way.
You know what? I agree.
That's the Ron Paul approach.
And whether you believe 9/11 was an inside job just to create these wars that we're going to and blow up, it's a whole nother. I don't know what to believe when it comes to these wars. All I know is that there's people making money off of them, and it's not me.
Hell yeah! What did you see? Did you see that thing I don't remember if I posted it to the Mercury thing, but it was a little Vice episode that they did where they went to like a weapons convention, and like literally like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and like all the 26 top military arms producer companies.
My father-in-law worked for Northrop Grumman. Well, and I went on a big like anti-war speech one time. Not speech, but like rant. And I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
But yeah, then they literally have South Korean or South Koreans, North Koreans, Iranians, Saudi Arabians, American contractors all coming into this convention and selling the arms. They actually had one U.S. soldier go into it, and he was so irate over the fact that he could recognize missiles that had been launched at them from other country, from people that they've been fighting in Iraq. That they were purchased either at this facility or purchased directly from the people that were giving money to for their weapons.
And
one big arms trade. It's not even like Lord of War anymore, which is a good movie if you've never seen it, by the way.
Yeah, in Iraq, we were training the people that ended up becoming ISIS. They Al Qaeda kind of morphed into ISIS.
Yeah, well, it's what happens when you. I don't know. It's very complicated, and it didn't just start in 2008. It dates back to like I don't know what. The Iran Revolution back in the 1940s, 1950s.
Well, we don't have to go that far back. Shit.
No, but it literally does. When America started to intervene, and we actually put in a prince or a king, and that's when the Ayatollah pretty much came to power because they were like, "Get this foreign dick out of here." Like he's not elected by the people of Iraq. It was literally put in, or not the people of Iran. He was literally put in by us.
We don't need that foreign dick.
Exactly. So that's where all the mistrust and
well, anyways, I don't like the direction this is headed. These Muslim attacks seem to be happening more and more frequently. And
okay, let me just ask this. Honestly, let's say we banned the Muslims from coming in, right? Let's just say we do it.
Muslims from countries that support terrorism, at least.
Okay, so what countries is that? That's a lot of them. Like
Saudi Arabia, Syria, Iran.
Okay, all right. So now, what stops the people that are already here, that were born here, that have because there's already been evidence of people self-radicalizing here, right? This past guy that just did it.
He barely came. He was barely born in New York. His dad had just got here.
Okay, but you can't separate that.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
If they wouldn't have brought him here from Afghanistan, then this wouldn't have happened.
What do you mean if he was born here legally? I don't know. What do you mean?
It was barely his dad had just come here.
Okay, his dad might have, but maybe his mom and other people were here already.
Well, who raised him? Who raised him with these radical beliefs?
I don't know. I haven't.
His dad did. His dad was running for president in Afghanistan. Afghanistan hates the shit out of us. He cheered when the buildings went down in 9/11. I mean,
okay. Again,
So he must have been a little kid. He had that in his brain already. That was 15 years ago.
Okay,
so he must have been a teenager.
Okay, still no. He was the same age as us. What is he? 29? Yeah, 29 or 30. Same.
I'm 27. What are you talking about?
Still around our same age. And so, okay, but then what do you still do with, okay, that's one example, but there's been others that that have been born here.
And the Tarnoff brothers or whatever were here on student visas. They weren't born here.
I mean, I don't know.
San Bernardino shooter.
The San Bernardino shooter, his wife was here on a marital thing, but I believe he was a citizen.
Well, whether they're born here or they're brought here, if anything, we can prevent a little bit by stopping radical Islam from entering the country. You don't want that, do you?
Okay. No, I don't want radical Islam here in the country, but it's already here in the country. So what do you do with that? Are you gonna?
We have to. If you have intentions to kill America, we need to lock you up or throw you out. One of the two.
Oh, okay, so
that's why the Department of Homeland Security was even created, and obviously they're not doing their fucking job with $55 billion, and they're on the can't seal the deal on this guy. I mean, come on. It's just.
I mean, I don't necessarily. I don't know what you do without actually taking away people's rights, which everyone seems to be such a staunch, supporter of. You can't take away people's rights. If you can't take away the Second Amendment, you can't take away other rights. Like, it's just not like you can't pick and choose what rights to be steadfast on and which ones not to be, because that's essentially American.
I feel like we're at war right now, and we're just getting attacked. It's like a war. They need to be eliminated.
Well, yeah.
We're not gonna have a country anymore if this shit continues.
We are gonna have a country. It's not gonna. Okay, what happened yesterday? You're not a club goer. What happened yesterday isn't gonna stop me from going to nightclubs, or 2 days ago, and it's not gonna stop it's one of those things that if it does stop you, then it's okay if it does, because if you went through that trauma, I'm not one to be like, oh, well, you need to honor it. No, like, everyone has their own battles to fight, but I can guarantee you the fact that he went in there to shoot up the nightclub was to get them never to reopen again or to shut down the club. So by not going, you're essentially doing exactly what his purpose, you're fulfilling his purpose.
Right, living in terror.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We need to get rid of the people that are trying to do the motherfucking terror. All right.
I agree, 100%. So why can't we have mental health background checks?
Yeah, I agree. And
yes,
for the people that are turning into a Second Amendment argument, I don't necessarily. Brain left in this country is fucking mind-numbing to me.
Okay, when you say it's a Second Amendment argument, right? What do you necessarily mean? Well,
there's people that are saying to ban guns altogether now.
Okay, and that is stupid. That is stupid. Stupid. 100%.
I do agree that there's a limit to where, obviously they banned machine guns in the 1980s, and probably for good reason. I mean, why do you need that? Assault rifle is a very general term that could mean a lot of different things. if it's an AR-15 or if it's AK-47, I mean, whatever. So that I don't know exactly how I stand on that, but you should be able to own a handgun or a shotgun.
I feel the same exact way.
Something along those
yes,
lines.
You should be able to. You should 100% be able to. I just don't understand to see the point in anyone owning a semi-automatic or automatic rifle. I mean, yes. Okay. Let's go back to the reason why the Second Amendment was established, right? It was to be able to protect the people, to protect themselves from a tyrannical government, right? Do you honestly believe today that there is a militia around that could take on the U.S. government? Do you honestly think that there is?
Well, if we all had those guns, then yeah, we could.
If every American had a gun, do you think that we could take on the Air Force?
Is this turning into a Danny Brown song?
No, but do you think we could take on the Air Force?
You know what I'm talking
about? Which one?
I'll show you later.
But yeah, do you honestly?
You'll laugh your ass off.
There's no way we could take on the Air Force. You're gonna be out there with your handgun and your shotgun and your AR-15 shooting at a raptor?
No, we don't stand a chance, but we should have a chance to fight at least. And I know that's what you didn't say. The argument was to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government, which may happen someday. And if we don't have our automatic weapons, then we don't stand a chance. And there's no way we'll ever get our country back from a tyrannical government.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's go a step further. And
your favorite saying.
Let's go with who do you think I mean, it's kind of shitty because I don't necessarily want to make it. I'll go out and just say it myself. I think Trump would be the most tyrannical president ever. I think he would try to just do things that like no one in their right mind would ever be like, wait, what? You think you can just do that? Like, you think Nixon was crazy? Like, you do not think Trump would just?
No, I don't.
Oh, what do you mean you don't? He's already said that he would already do things that is illegal. And then once he's found out, he's like, oh, okay, maybe I can't do that.
Did you listen to the speech that he gave today? It was pretty good.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree.
Did you listen to the speech today?
Yeah, I did. We can agree to disagree.
All right, well, we disagree.
But I don't.
He wants to protect America within the borders. Okay?
That's
within the borders. Okay?
Within the borders. That's fine. Then let's ban everybody. Let's cut off everybody. Don't just cut off one group of people. If you want to cut off everybody, cool, go ahead. Say nope, no one else can come in. No one else is welcome. That's fine.
No, I mean,
don't just say no. You said we're full. We're full, no vacancies. You said that, right? So
most of America is full.
Let's just pass up. No more. Extremely smart students coming here to study. Nope, no more of them. What about the Muslims that are in the army and like fighting for this country? What do you do with them?
I'd keep a close eye on them. Friendly fire.
Oh my goodness. There you go. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's a tricky subject, and
there's no easy one set answer.
No,
I don't understand how you could listen to the speech that he gave today when Hillary, I listened to half of hers, didn't even bring up the shooting at all. Didn't even talk about it. And Donald was going to, his speech was going to be about Hillary, but he decided not to. He decided to talk about, foreign policy. And
okay, but do you think that, like, even his delivery, just look at his delivery. Do you think it's presidential? Do you want him representing you in overseas? Do you want him representing you overseas? That's
I
the only
think
thing
that when it's time to buckle down and get serious, and I mean, this is what's got him this far is his demeanor and the way that he talks. So why would he change anything up now?
Okay, so then what would he change? Why would he change anything up?
Yes, he would. I believe that if he was elected president, he would probably tone it down a lot.
Do you think he's ever been like talked back to or told no or like been said no, you can't do that, Donald? Do you think he's ever been told that?
Failures, just like everyone else.
No, okay, that's not what I'm saying. But do you think, okay, in those failures, do you think there was one advisor or someone in his group that was like, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep, well, I do.
Okay, and what do you think happened to that person? He's probably not working for him.
You're assuming a lot. You're assuming a lot here without any evidence.
That's fair. Okay, let's go to the quote unquote hit piece that journalists are doing on him, right? I mean, I read the piece, like I've read a piece, I think it was on Rolling Stones, or I forget. I'll post it later to the Facebook page, but it was basically like they went in, the journalists went into the lawsuits that have been filed against them from like disgruntled carpenters and independent contractors that have done work on his buildings. And like there's been like he's notorious just for undercutting people and like basically stringing them along in order to get them to do work on other buildings for him in order to get paid, and then still not getting paid. Like he's forced so many other like small mom and pop construction companies into bankruptcy that is not even funny. Just reading a glimpse of them, and that's probably not even the heart of them, or it might be the heart of them to pull at your heartstrings.
Yeah, I heard he did some shady shit back in the day, but working
not even back in the day, like recently, like the lawsuits like are filed up until like 2013.
Huh. Well,
and so that's like. You just think you don't have to? His biggest, he just doesn't think. I don't think he knows his boundaries, and giving him the office of president isn't exactly gonna do anything. I don't think he's gonna do anything right with that power. I don't think he would do anything.
Not one thing. Not
well. Okay. That's an over.
Can't see him doing anything good at all.
No, I can't. I can't see past the orange glow. No, but honestly, like I see him becoming drunk with the power, and I don't think in some areas I don't think he would be as conservative as he's portraying himself to be. And in some areas I think he might be even liberal, but he talks a good game. He talks a good game, and he knows who his audience is and who's listening. That he can do. I'll give him that. But I mean, unless something, I don't know. I don't even want to say unless. I just don't see him getting elected. I'm sorry. It's possible. It's possible if you know it can. If George Bush can do it twice, anything's possible. But I honestly don't see this guy getting elected.
Well, then there's Hillary with not.
I wish she wasn't I wish Bernie Sanders was the person running in her place, but even with it being Hillary, Hillary's still gonna win. That Clinton machine that they talk about is no joke.
Well, if Hillary wins, it's because she was pre-selected. I think more of America wants Trump, and if Hillary wins, then I think to me it's just a sign that everything's rigged.
I don't know. Like, it could very well be, but then, okay, would you then say that the George Bush election was rigged?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well, then everything is predestined. So don't vote. Stay home.
Well, they can control with the super delegates anyways.
Yeah, well, that's only with the Democratic side, not with the Republic. You guys, the Republican side don't have it. Although I know some Republicans that want it now.
Yeah, well, what they kind of shut it down in Colorado.
Yeah,
so,
and here too.
Yeah,
that's why I voted in California, and supposedly they did in California too. But oh well. I did my civic duty, damn it. If I wanted to matter more, I'd run for office.
Okay. All right. Well, so Donald Trump is a hate monger. All Muslims are peaceful, and
no one said that.
Hillary Clinton is the next Obama.
I just don't see how you go from praising Ali last week, or not you personally, but how people in general can go from praising Ali last week, a devout Muslim and highly outspoken of the U.S. government.
Well, Ali never didn't practice Sharia law, and never shot anyone up. So
no, he didn't. But that is at the heart. What he didn't go to war because he was a Muslim. That's at the heart of what Muslim means, peace, right?
And not all Muslims are violent, but Islam has a violence problem. Like I posted yesterday, they've got a problem.
Yeah, no. If
you're a good Muslim and you're not telling on the bad ones, then shame on you.
Well, I mean,
there's a little bit of that going on too.
Yeah, but yeah, no, definitely, I agree. But I mean, I guess we won't get into another tangent, but that's, you can't act like that's not a normal occurrence in everyday life. Like, how much, like, when you're at work, how much do you see your friends, at work, doing shit they're not supposed to be doing? As a good employee, you should tell on them, right? But you don't. Like it's
not if it involved a mass amount of lives, then I would.
No, yeah, agreed. I guess, yeah, it shouldn't conflate the two of those, but I don't. Yeah. Everyone should definitely be ratting each other out if there's a bad seed amongst the bunch. That's for sure.
Well, I feel like we're at war right now with radical Islam, and it's not going to get. I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I think we'll probably have another attack on American soil before the year is over, and next year we'll have more. And I think people might start to wake up a little bit on how serious this problem really is, because it's serious and it can be stopped.
How do you stop something from happening, Travis, when it's a lone wolf? There's no communication happening. It is a lone. This guy was a lone wolf.
So was the San Bernardino shooters, and so was the Boston bombers.
Yes, they're self-radicalizing. They're not in communication with people, at least by any ways that can be tracked.
This guy traveled to Saudi Arabia. And
they
claimed he has ties to radical Islam overseas. Yeah.
Yes, and the U.S. government looked into it, and they said that he was there simply on a pilgrimage. Those two trips involved pilgrimages.
Oh,
I don't know what.
Right, because everyone wants to take a vacation to freaking Saudi Arabia, where all the 9/11 most of the 9/11 hijackers came from, who harbors terrorists, who support them, who safeguard them, who won't give us information on terrorists. That's where he's going, to Saudi Arabia.
Again, it's when you live in a world economy and you're doing business on the world stages, you can't control another country. That's what's gotten us in this mess. Like we can not do business with them, but then guess what? Our oil goes up, our prices go up. You want to pay more in gas? No. Then you start bitching. Not you again, but people in general start bitching, complaining about gas prices. And like, you know, like the whole world's intertwined. You can't just cut off.
Ask the family of the 100 people that were shot if they care about gas prices right now.
No, they don't care about gas prices right now. But you're gonna the news cycle. I posted a status the other day. Like the news cycle will leave your head leave your head spinning. How fast it turns. Like
that's why I don't pay attention to the news cycle.
It kind of sets the tone for the show, though.
I try not to follow mainstream media. I will go to CNN's website, but no, I don't even have a TV service. Okay, I use Netflix, Amazon Prime, Kodi for all my entertainment purposes. So I don't even have a cable service. So
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, for instance, you wanted to do the topic about the gorilla in the zoo. It was too far along. 2 weeks ago, we can't do it, right? Like, I'm turning.
A lot of people don't care anymore.
You can't. Yeah, exactly, right there. You just said it. Boom. That's my point. People aren't going to care.
Okay. Well, I agree with you.
Time next week. But
now we're talking about 100 Americans that were shot by one person compared to a gorilla that was dragging around a 4-year-old.
Okay, how long do you think we talked about Sandy Hook for? The only time we talk about Sandy Hook now is when something like this happens. It takes a mass killing for anything to be talked about, whether people go to their corners and talk about whether it's the gun law's fault or it's the people having the guns. But you, like, as long as, again, it just goes back to, as long as guns are so readily available in the US and people have the right to bear them, and I'm not saying they should be, the right to bear them should be taken away, but as long as that is an actual fact, and then you have pharmaceutical companies out here pumping out medication and putting people on drugs, and then you got soldiers coming back from war, PTSD issues, and just fucking the mental fabric.
I agree with that. The VA. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, the mental fabric of America is, you know, being ripped apart with social classes, you know, being further the economic wage gap widening, and you know, people are losing their shit out here. Like it's not there's not just a one thing that's gonna fix it. Tightening gun laws alone isn't gonna fix the issue. Stepping up,
getting rid of radical Islam will cut that shit in half.
No, it won't. They're not even responsible for like a 10% of the mass shooting deaths in the world or in the US. They're like responsible for like less than 3%.
Past couple of years, are you?
Yes.
Not good with numbers, or
yes. No, look it up. They're like responsible for less than 10%. Just look it up. Look it up.
What do you consider a mass shooting? Like gang violence? Are you going to take gang violence out of that? Are you talking about crazy white people that shoot up?
I'm talking about what the U.S. classifies as a mass shooting, which is anybody being shot, any occasion of one occasion of a shooting happening where 3 or more people are dead. That's what a mass shooting is.
Okay.
Like when you look that up over time, they've accounted for less than 10% of the mass shootings in the U.S.
I'd like to see the numbers on that.
Okay, well, but when I find the article again, I'll post it on the Mercury cast. But they're not responsible for a whole lot of the deaths. Yeah, if the carnage when they do it might be a lot louder and the coverage might be bigger.
100 people shot. Okay, 100.
Okay, right. And there would be no gun, and I'm one of the ones that says that there would have been no gun laws other than a ban on assault weapons, which was in effect up until 2005. And then all of a sudden from 2005 to now, the what's it called? The occasions of mass
So
shooting.
the past 10 years, but what these attacks are happening at a greater frequency now. So up till a couple years ago, there was like 5% Muslim in the country. Now it's up to about 10%. So the more that come, the more are likely to have been radicalized, the more that are going to want to kill Americans.
Does that
not make sense at all? Or?
No, it does. But again, they're not just coming in open border policy. What we have now is what's been used, like, or it's been strengthened. Now, like I said, it's up to 18 to 24 months. If anyone's like, I don't know, like what more is Donald Trump going to propose that can be done in that 18 to 24 months? Mind you, when they're already in refugee camps, that these camps are abysmal. They're not living the high life. They're not at a resort.
So yeah, then they get to America and they're all fucking pissed off that they had to sit in the camp and they want to kill people. Makes sense to me.
Because war is being waged over there. The reason it doesn't happen here is because we haven't had a war on this mainland.
And who's harboring them?
What?
The people of the country, or is it U.S. soldiers?
What? I don't know. What'd you say? I don't know.
Who's harboring them?
What do you mean? Who's harboring?
Who's taking care of who's doing the interrogation? Is it the military? Or is it the other people of the country? Because
no, it's the State Department. It's the U.S. officials. No, they're not going to rely on the people of that country.
Well, Obama and Hillary have both funded terrorism before, so
yeah,
does not surprise me one bit.
Well, okay, and so has the Republican Party as well. I mean, it's in politics. When money is being tossed up, money is fungible. So when you give one country money, yeah, they might be saying they're using it for domestic goods, but what's to say that they didn't leak it over to the military program? Like you can bring up specific, or you can bring up any examples that you want, but every president has had some way, shape, or form been involved with funding terrorism. Some might be a little bit more.
You think Bush after 9/11 was funding terrorism?
I mean, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, so I don't necessarily think anybody, like, I don't know. I'm basically just arguing that if you're going to say that Hillary and Obama have done it, you can't just gloss over the fact that that Ronald Reagan did it. You can't gloss over the fact that I'm sure GW did it because he was part of the Reagan administration. A lot of people say that George Bush was behind 9/11. I don't necessarily believe that. But then when you go over there and try to nation build, and it becomes a catastrophe, and now all the Hummers and all the military weapons that we brought over there are now being used against us, that is still funding terrorism. Whether you like it or not, like in one way or another, the enemy ended up with our weapons. That's a form of funding terrorism.
No, I agree.
And that's the shitty part, that, you know, it sucks because it does give onus to, like, yeah, it doesn't matter who you vote for, like, the world's still, or, you know, life is still going to be shitty. But you know, I don't know. It's either way. I think the vote always comes down to essentially the lesser of two evils. Because again, what is good for one person isn't good for the next. Or what I consider good for my family isn't what you consider good for your family. and yeah, there is an issue that I don't think anybody could ever solve, or there's never going to be complete harmony.
Well, we can all agree that radical Muslims out there that want to kill Americans. I mean, can we agree on that?
Yeah, we can agree on that, but there's other ethnicities out there that want to kill Americans. Like they just haven't done it. But at a different time period or another, that happened. The Chinese wanted to kill us at one point. The Koreans wanted to kill us at one point. The Russians
China doesn't want to kill us. We're there. But they benefit from a relationship with all those countries. Benefit from a relationship with us.
Right. The only ones that don't is the countries that that are currently blowing us up right now. Why? Because they reject the Western philosophy of life. Why? Because they're still able to live in the Stone Age. That's why the whole idea behind nation building was to bring them into the 21st century, but they reject it. And they have listeners because they can control all the media and all that crap, because they don't have to obey. They're like the Joker. They don't have to abide by any rules. They're just genuinely insane and fanatics. Like they're doing it for the simple thrill of the thrill. They can say,
and you want those people at the Walmart with you, or how about those people and the concealed carry people are in the same?
Go ahead. Sorry.
You were worried about the concealed carry people, but you might want to have one of those. Or should one of these Islam radicals happens to go into a public place and start opening fire, you want one of those concealed carry permits around. You want a Tim Kennedy like person around, so we could spare. I mean, if somebody in that club had a gun or had enough balls to tackle the guy while he was reloading, I mean, it's tough to say. It's easy to say from here, and it's tough to do probably while it's all going down. But
okay, Travis, it's hard to have this conversation without avoiding like the race issue, and like a white guy walking into Walmart with an assault style rifle or a handgun displayed has a completely different reaction from a black guy walking into it, or a Mexican guy doing the same exact thing.
I agree.
So, okay. So
I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos.
So you saying that is idealistic, but
I'm talking about thwarting a terror plot. I'm not talking about
but what I'm saying is in me going into Walmart, I'm not going to carry an assault rifle, because when someone looks at me, they might see something different than a white guy carrying an assault rifle. So it's two different dichotomies, or two different ways of being looked at for the same thing. So should I feel less safe because I don't want anybody carrying a weapon, versus this guy feeling more safe because
you want somebody to be able to protect you if a terrorist
why should I have to rely on that other person that looks okay carrying the rifle to be able to protect me, versus me being able to protect myself, but in the process of me trying to protect myself, I might get unwanted attention or be
if you have if you're legal, then why do you even care if everything's all good?
You've already said you've seen the video. The video never even got to the officers even saying a word to the kid in Walmart. They just opened up they got a call that someone was carrying.
But it seemed like they were trying to draw. They were making like an egregious point by having that out. I mean, I'd like to know the city that happened in.
It was in Ohio somewhere.
Oh, well, mostly white people in Ohio, right?
Okay. What about
Cleveland?
Anywhere though. I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, it's a tricky subject, and
but no one walks around with a damn gun like that on their shoulder, anyways.
yes,
I wouldn't say no one.
Yes,
I wouldn't say no one, but most. I've never seen it once in my whole entire life.
It's because you live in California. Go to Arizona. Come here to Nevada. Go to Texas.
And does that make you like worried that you're going to be shot by this person?
I don't feel comfortable around it. There is
why
no
don't you
reason
feel comfortable?
Because there's no reason for. In my mind, I'm going to the liquor store or I'm going to the grocery store. There is no reason for him to have this unless he's anticipating something's going to happen. Right?
No, I think he just wants to be able to protect himself.
Okay. Now, if I was to bring the weapon with me, right? And I'm looked at different, like, it's just.
Is that something that you want to do and you're not able to do that?
No, it's something that I feel like it brings unwanted attention to yourself, and it gives you it gives you almost a I don't want to say Superman mentality, but it gives you a bigger than yourself feeling. You're not going to be that same person that you are with the gun that you're not with the gun.
So what? People are assholes.
I agree.
They're gonna be assholes anyways.
I agree. But let's play let's say 4 or 5 people in the club had a gun, right? How do you inside the club they're having fun and having a party? How do you know who's the actual active shooter if there's multiple people in the party shooting? You don't. At that point, you would probably
look at the guy that has the huge gun in their hand and.
You would probably think it was a gun. It was a gang shootout at that point. I mean, I don't know necessarily how many gang shootouts have been at gay clubs, but if a bunch of people just started shooting at people, I'm pretty sure everyone's just going to start shooting. Anyone who has a gun at that point is shooting.
No, you shoot the person that's shooting people.
But how do you know who's just if one? Okay, there's one good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's one shooter. It comes into the club. He starts shooting. A guy right next to him or across the club takes out their gun and starts shooting. Then the guy that's next to the original shooter takes out his gun and starts shooting the guy across the club. And it's like a Mexican standoff. Like everyone's just shooting crossfire. I don't necessarily think that is the best solution to so
you don't. I think that you're going to be in the minority with that thinking.
I mean,
you're not giving your American people enough credit, bro. We know where the enemy is when someone's killing people, and the first person that
okay. What happens?
Get got.
What happens? There's an accidental shooting of somebody in that club. Who gets sued? Who goes to jail? What happens? You try to be a hero. You try to be a hero. You try to be a hero and try. You have the only other gun in the club, and you start shooting. You start shooting back at the person. Everyone's running in front of the guns. Whatnot. You're just shooting. And it comes out you ended up killing the guy, right?
Yeah.
But then after the investigation and everything, turns out you ended up shooting and killing 5 people that's linked to your gun.
That's highly unlikely. It's unlikely.
So you think you're able I think they said it was like 350 people in the club. And he's shooting indiscriminately. He doesn't care who he is. So people are running back and forth everywhere. You think you're able to just then
it's hard. I mean, it's such a particular scenario. It's hard to.
And then
It's hard to imagine. I mean, in this case, if you killed 5 people and killed him, and that was the only 6 people that died, it's better than 100 people being shot.
No, he's shooting people indiscriminately. Remember, he has a rifle, so his bullet isn't stopping at one person; it's going through people. We don't even know how many bullets were actually fired. It could have been under 100 shots that were actually, I doubt it, but it could have been under 100 shots that were fired.
And the sad part about it is like, no offense to gay people, but they aren't exactly like Navy SEALs or anything to go and try and tackle this dude and stop him.
I'm pretty sure there's been a few.
I'm not even trying to make a joke.
No, I know, but I'm pretty sure there's been a few gay Navy SEAls.
Okay, but they weren't in the fucking nightclub at that time, all right?
Point taken.
So you're trying to say that you wouldn't feel safer in that club if you knew that somebody else had a gun?
I wouldn't feel safer if I knew anybody in that club had a gun. Anybody. I don't hang out with people who have a gun. I have one friend that has a gun, and he's an active security guard, and he's passed all his background checks. He has open carry in like 10 states.
Would you consider yourself paranoid?
No, I just don't want to be anywhere where anyone has a gun. Like if I'm in an establishment where someone has a gun, I don't need to be in that establishment. Like here in Vegas.
What about if it was like a security guard?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with the trained security guard because then you know who like he's at least been trained and there's a whole protocol for it. Okay. But when you just have your everyday citizen, you're talking about the most competent people, the most competent of the bunch. I'm talking about the people that get the gun and want to flash it while they're driving down the highway.
Who's injured?
It's Bogut. Yeah,
Andrew Bogut.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it might just be a hyperextension. Hopefully, if not, it's torn.
That dude is gone. Sayonara, see you. I'm sorry. I just saw.
Yeah, no, but
so okay, but and another point to make. You got a club that holds a couple hundred people. You might want to get yourself a security guard with a gun.
Oh, there was.
And I know gay, lighthearted, non-confrontational people on the planet Earth probably. And was there a security guard? You took him out first.
There was. It wasn't even. Well, he was acting as security guard, but he was an off-duty police officer, but he only had a handgun. Since he was off duty in his
he should have had a fucking sniper rifle, right?
Oh, that's what they were saying. They were saying like the normal police aren't equipped to like deal the normal security guard isn't gonna have. He might have a handgun, but he's not gonna have an AR-15 or any kind of comparative weapon that's gonna be able to combat a semi-automatic rifle.
Yeah, maybe you want about 5 security guards with guns there. Maybe you might want to step up your security game up.
Yeah, this is in no way blaming security, blaming the club.
Well,
just roll with it, Travis.
All right. I don't want to be that guy, but
that was dicey.
I mean,
I understand what you're saying. Yes.
At a gay club, that's like the last place that you think that someone's going to come shoot up. Unless you're a radical Muslim who comes from places where they execute people for being gay. But
yeah, the whole throwing people off buildings, that's oof.
We can all agree that that's not right.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
just
Christians saying that bullshit. You're a radical Christian then, and you don't fall in line with a lot of present-day Christian thinking.
Agreed. Anyone trying to trounce upon anybody's right to live their life deserves to go live somewhere else.
It's really sad. I hate that it happened, and I'm worried that more events like this are going to happen. And that we should do everything that we can to prevent them.
Yeah, I agree. I just like I said earlier, I just don't think that there's a way to stop it from happening. There isn't. Like you can ban Muslims, ban them. Guaranteed, there's going to be someone in another name to do the same exact thing. in the name of either another god, or in the name of Allah, or in the name of another, some kind of fundamental. It might be some kind of leftist group. Who knows? But like, you're not going to be able to stop it when guns of any caliber are readily available.
Was that a pun?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I understand the argument that the bad guys are still going to get guns, whatnot. But I don't think that's like saying, well, alcoholics are still going to drink. And like, yeah, that's going to happen, but you still want to minimalize the possibility of whatever their intent might be at one point to inflict as much harm as possible at any given time. So correct. Yeah, right now, when if you outlaw assault rifles or whatnot, yeah, there's still going to be a plethora of them available on the market, but over time they're going to diminish. I can guarantee you a gang member or someone that has them illegally isn't taking them to a gun shop to get them cleaned and get them fixed up and get the parts, like maintaining the parts on them.
All right. Well, I think this subject has ran its course for now. We will we'll revisit it on episode 14. Maybe some new stuff will come out, or we'll get somebody on that has something else to say.
I'm ready for the like they're doing the reenactment stuff investigation.
Yeah, there's got to be a grisly scene to just even be there. The feeling in the room is probably just crazy.
Well, that, and it's Orlando, the humidity, like, oh, I couldn't. And it took like a day, like a full, like well into the next day to get the bodies removed. And
you can't just move them because you got to do an investigation first. It's grisly. It's
there was one guy that, and I don't want to get too grisly, but he survived by putting, like, I guess apparently, here's two bits of information that we didn't bring up that I kind of find interesting. One, a guy said that the shooter was going around and like shooting people in the head to make sure that they were dead, and so he like put a couch over his head to make it look like he wasn't missing his head, and the shooter still shot him in his stomach or in his back because he says he probably didn't look like he had enough blood on him, but he still got shot. That, and then someone who was that was being held hostage in the bathroom with them, or actually no, he was playing dead on the floor in the bathroom. He said that the shooter made a phone call. He made a couple of phone calls. One was he knew that was a couple was to the police, and then one he said was possibly to like maybe a friend or something like that. And he basically said that like he had explosives planted like around the building, and there was like snipers and shooters outside that he had aimed at the building. That's what essentially, I guess, alerted cops or whatnot to take so long from trying to storm the building. They actually thought that there were other people around.
I wonder if any of those hostages that were in that bathroom made it out alive.
Yeah, I know when they stormed, I don't know if they were, the thing about the hostages is I don't know if and one other thing apparently he did say was, like as he had hostages in the bathroom, I don't know if they were in the bathroom already or if he saw them on the way to the bathroom, but it was like some black dudes, and he asked them if they were black, and he said, I don't have any problem with black dudes, go ahead and go and let them leave.
Hey,
yeah, I don't
showing a little love for the brothers.
I don't know what exactly that had anything to do with it. Maybe that tied into his fetish secret life or whatnot. But
well,
crazy.
Let's switch gears and then get the hell out of here. Let's do what the hell's going on in North Korea real quick.
My favorite subject.
North Korea planned a gigantic cyber attack against South Korea. So let me read it. North Korea has been laying the groundwork for a massive cyber attack against South Korea. Government officials from South Korea told Reuters. According to the report, North Korea launched a hacking company in 2014, which affected more than 140,000 computers at 160 South Korean businesses and government agencies. South Korea suspects that, excuse me, since the hacked machine stayed dormant, North Korea will likely waiting to launch a simultaneous attack, quotations, intended to cause confusion on a national scale, quotations, or to continuously steal industrial military facts. South Korea only realized this in February that Kim Jong-un's band of hackers had been infiltrating its networks after the defense-related material was stolen from 2 South Korea conglomerates. So there goes that. They just never stop. They were successful. Like having that neighbor that you hate and you just like throw fucking eggs at his house all day long.
You Justin Bieber the shit.
Like your neighbor could beat your ass, but you just like throwing pebbles at his window, like you know, like you have, like your neighbor's Debo and you just hate him, so you just try and torment him however you can.
Changes access code.
So there, yeah. The other day was the one that you weren't on. It was they released their fucking. Did you listen to it? They released a dam that a river between North Korea and South Korea, and just kind of flooded the border just to do it. Just in good North Korea fashion.
They did it?
Yeah, they did it. They flooded the whole river.
What dicks?
Oh, anything they can to draw attention. It's like the last born in a family of 7, and no one gives a shit about that kid. They just need attention.
Didn't your boy Kim Jong-un praise Donald Trump?
No.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Well, Donald Trump doesn't like him. I wouldn't say Donald Trump's my boy, but I like some of the things that he says. I like.
Like I said, he's definitely got a command of the. I can see his appeal. I can see his appeal, and it's not necessarily like I can see like how people can buy or what they like about him. Because yeah, it is the rah America, fuck yeah.
And this may come as a surprise to you, but Ted Nugent has come out and endorsed Trump.
Yeah, Ted Nugent. Shocking. Shocking.
Oh Lord.
So did what's his name too?
Great again. Okay, again. You know, you and I know. Okay. I love the Mexicans. I love them.
Hey, look at my African American over there.
I'll be working on my Donald Trump impersonation.
At least you know he speaks his mind. You know what's on his mind.
That's what's gotten him this far, is that he doesn't talk like a politician, and he doesn't use a teleprompter, and he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. And that's kind of what I like about him. It makes him like a guy's guy, you know?
Yeah, but what about women? And what about
screw the women. Yeah, I haven't heard any woman say that they like Donald Trump.
I mean, I've seen his all of his spokespeople are women. Like everyone that defends him on the national news networks is pretty much women. He has like 2 dudes that sometimes make appearances, but it's usually Omarosa and this other woman of color, and then like these 2 white ladies that look scary.
Well, would you like to say, you weren't here last weekend. Gave shout outs to Kimbo Slice and Muhammad Ali.
Oh yes.
Anything on your mind about that you'd like to tell the people?
It's just incredible to now, like when I was younger, I had heard all the stories of Muhammad Ali and whatnot.
Is that your sister?
No, that's my aunt.
Okay. Hi, Auntie.
But I had heard all the stories about, like, you know, him not going into the draft and all the speeches he made. But now that I'm older or in my mid-30s, to realize he was making those speeches like at in his mid-20s, and like having such a firm grasp on his beliefs is crazy. Like I couldn't, and that's usually what's most inspiring about most at least figures that I find inspiring at how young of an age that they had such clarity on their views. And some of them alter over time, but definitely like his clarity and his discipline to just fight for what he believed in, and going against the culture, especially at that time, like as much as many people saw it as un-American, not wanting to fight. He definitely raised a good point in his justifications and not wanting to go there. I can't blame him for it. So
yeah, you wouldn't have caught me in that fucking war. I'll tell you that much right now. Flying over some hot ass jungle and some area I don't know, and having people fall out of trees and shoot you, and bitch, fuck that.
Yeah, no, hell no. So definitely rest in peace, great. And then Kimbo Slice, that one was a shocker too. I mean, it was kind of out of left field. And then what's his name too just passed away too, Ken Norton.
What? Oh, the boxer.
The other boxer.
I thought you meant Jim Norton for a second.
No. Yeah. So man,
he's only in fake fight movies. Yeah, Ken Norton. I think I watched a bout with him and Muhammad Ali, but for me, Muhammad Ali and me just being a sports, his boxing skills were, just tremendous.
His highlights are incredible. Like
it's out of this world.
Yeah.
Although I think Tyson beats him because Muhammad Ali gets hit a little too much. Tyson would have beat him in his prime. My opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, his prime was also what, 19, 20?
Yeah, his prime was short-lived too.
Man, but imagine if he would have stayed out of prison. How I bet he would have been so great.
Or if he would have just had his head. I mean, he went to prison because, granted, you can't be that famous and that rich and that young and have everything go right. I mean,
Well, I think his trainer passing away was really the.
Yes.
If his trainer was around, he would have been solid. But then fucking Don King came about. Only in America.
Only in America.
Have you ever seen the Tyson stand-up? His one-man show.
No, but I heard it's great. I really want to watch that.
I highly recommend it. Like I had a little apprehension about like, am I really about to give this guy an hour and a half of my time? But he's a really good entertainer. Like
custom clamato. Plus cuss.
Yep.
His name just came to me. I was trying to think of it.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, not exactly the most uplifting stuff to talk about. Muhammad Ali and 100 Americans shot, fucking Kimbo Slice, but I think we navigated the waters without yelling at each other, and I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, we got excited a few times, but all in good debate.
I'll have to just edit out everything that you said that pissed me off, and then we'll be good.
Ooh, creative control. Damn it.
No, I don't. I would never do that.
No.
Even if I was wrong, I would never. The only stuff I've ever taken out was stuff I shouldn't have said. Huh?
So what do you mean even? Never mind. You said even if I was wrong. I said, what do you mean? Even?
Yeah, I'm never wrong. So I don't know what you're talking about. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Mercury's Cast. And once again, thoughts and prayers to all the families affected by the mass shooting in Orlando. It's a terrible, tragic time right now. I hope, and just to say this on the last note, I was super disappointed with the lack of response by most Americans that I know on social media who just decided to go and keep posting their memes or whatever. It's just disappointing. it's heartbreaking that people don't even seem to care. And if they then they turn it into a gun issue. It's kind of like, why don't we think about the families for a little bit? You know?
No, definitely. I mean, that was a strong way to end out the show. I have nothing to add to that. That was perfect.
So step your fucking game up, all right? Step your game up. When we have tragedies, it needs to be stepped up.
Show
Right?
some compassion.
Yeah.
It's all about compassion, sympathy, empathy.
Correct. And on that note, we are out.